you believe that it can change motorsports in the Middle East. Why do you think that?
Well, because at some point everything was connected, and you have to connect this with 7,000 years ago, 7,000 years history of speed.
You mentioned that it was kind of a wake-up call for you.
And then somehow everything connected in my mind, and the answer was Race of Kingdoms.
So these already exist, but they're not across multiple series.
One of the key pillars of Race of Kingdoms is reserved exclusively for nationals of the Seven Kingdoms. Only nationals from the Seven Kingdoms will be able to compete in Race of Kingdoms. So it's going to be really their own ecosystem.
One word to describe Race of Kingdoms.
Destiny.
هلا أنا حفصة وفي مشروع كبير قاعد يتجهز في الشرق الأوسط بمجال الموتور سبورتس فخليكم متابعينا.
Hello Hafsa, I am Gonzalo Gobert, CEO and founder of Race of Kingdoms.
Hi Gonzalo, welcome. I'm Hafsa. I am a motorsports marketing executive based in the UAE, and I'm here today to learn more about Race of Kingdoms. So please tell me more about it.
Race of Kingdoms is a motorsports ecosystem that is going to revolution the way motorsports is seen and managed in Middle East.
Perfect. So let's dig into the questions that I have for you.
Perfect. Let's go for it.
So when did first the idea of Race of Kingdoms come into your mind?
Well, it came in a very natural way, Hafsa, and I have to say I was researching about motorsports in Middle East. I was always very curious about how passionate is the fan base of motorsports in Middle East. And then I read about the invention of the wheel in Middle East in Sumer, in Sumeria. Then I read about the invention also of the chariot, which was a warfare artifact, but also it was used to in the fields to crop all the for the crops, etc. And finally, I discovered that the first artifact ever, racing artifact ever, archaeological artifact, discovered in Sumer, was the copper figurine. So that was shocking for me, and I then realized the birth of racing, the origin of speed, as we say in the in Race of Kingdoms in the team, was Middle East. So that was really shocking for me, and then I started to think about something to really give a new impulse to motorsports in Middle East.
That's actually very interesting. Where exactly in the Middle East? I know it's a little bit all over the place, but...
Yeah, but the Sumerian civilization, it was like the current Iraq, part of Lebanon, part of Jordan also, and north of Saudi Arabia.
I kind of see the little bit of a movement over there. When I first heard of Race of Kingdoms, I did see somewhere in one of the briefs that you believe that it can change motorsports in the Middle East. And why do you think that?
Well, I think that Hafsa, because really Middle East is enjoying the best motorsport events globally. But all of them are imported formats. And if you see the grids, most of the drivers, 95, 97, whatever is the figure, are foreigners, not locals. And I truly believe, because I've been working in motorsports for the past 27 years, and I know how transformative the right ecosystem can be, and I truly believe that Middle East still lacks this regional ecosystem to promote its genuine local talent academies and grassroots. And I believe Race of Kingdoms can be the catalyst for this.
Okay. You mentioned 27 years of experience in motorsports. Do you mind telling me more about that part?
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, I've been always involved. I started in motorsports in 1999, And I've been the manager of a racing circuit. I've been the business director of another racing circuit. I've been a part of the FIA Circuits Commission for 7 years, and really I've been involved in motorsports. I love motorsports, and it is really my passion. And after 13 years being the general manager of Valencia Circuit, I decided to start with this Race of Kingdoms project because at some point it became an obsession for me. And I have to say, my wife says I'm a bit crazy because I'm not Arab. Unfortunately, I don't speak Arabic. I wish I speak a bit of Arabic in the future. And even though I started this project, but because I truly believe this is a groundbreaking project.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
When I was looking at your website, I did see that at some point you mentioned that it was kind of a wake-up call for you. Why was that?
Well, because at some point everything was connected. I was talking about all the heritage and history, about the invention of the wheel, the chariot, the copper figurine, etc. But if you connect this is heritage and history. But you have to connect this with 7,000 years ago. But you have to connect this with the best venues in the world now, because Middle East now enjoys the best circuits in the world. And you have to connect this also with the fact of these 7 kingdoms, which is very important for me also. It's an exclusive club. I'm a royalist myself. I'm an Spaniard, and in Spain we are a kingdom also. I believe the kingdoms are a very good way to promote countries. And then somehow everything connected in my mind at some point, and the answer was Race of Kingdoms.
I'm going to have to agree with you on everything because I'm Arab. So I'm very biased, but my favorite races are all the ones in the Middle East. So.
Yes.
So what was the biggest doubt you had when you were about to start?
Clearly, this is a project for Middle East, for the Arab world, and specifically for Middle East. And I'm not Arab, and I don't speak Arabic. So that was my biggest concern. But really, with the help of my team, with all you, and with the technology, this is something you can overcome. I have to say, Middle Easterns are very well educated, and most of people speaks very good English, better than mine. And this shouldn't be a barrier.
No, it's not going to be a barrier. If that was the main issue, honestly, you have nothing to worry about. Everybody in the Middle East, especially in the kingdoms that are going to be targeted, most of them everybody speaks English.
I'm very good English, I have to say.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so why does the Middle East connect ancient heritage so naturally with modern racing?
Well, because, I mentioned that already. It's 7,000 years history of speed, as we say. The first artifact ever in history was discovered there in Sumer. And then this is just the natural continuation of a 7,000 years history. And I have to say, if you see the races today, I can assume it was the same. Is this the same passion, the same desire for speed, the same desire to compete? Really is the same. Only the technology has changed. Before were the chariots, and now are the GT3s. But
those Sumerian,
yes,
it's a region in Iraq, I think.
The Sumerian is what? Sorry.
Is there a region in?
Well, the Sumerian civilization was the Tigris and Euphrates Valley, which is the rivers, okay, which are connected in the valley and this is Iraq, and I think it comes down to Kuwait.
Okay, so that's Iraq. That's what I thought. So these were like actual races, or they just used them for something else?
Well, you cannot tell. Well, This is a good question, and this is something we will have to ask Professor Bulliet from Professor Emeritus from Columbia University, because I'm not an expert about this. I can tell you the copper figurine was discovered there. So, and why is so important the copper figurine? Because the copper figurine was the first artifact having only one axis. Okay, the chariot, just one axis, nor two axes. So this chariot couldn't be used for warfare or works in the fields. It has to be used either for post or racing.
So that I believe that's how you connect the chariot racing with motorsports, modern day motorsports.
Well, yeah, and it's and in fact it's connected because the natural evolution also passed through the Roman history also, and all the Roman
Greeks
races,
as well,
Greeks, etc. Yeah, but the first ones were the Sumerians.
We've been talking a lot about the history part of things. So why is this history and heritage such a pillar for Race of Kingdoms?
Because it gives, I think, not only the aroma, but it gives the DNA to the project, and it gives all the explanation, really. Why are fans so passionate in Middle East about motorsports? Because it's genes, it's genetic.
Oh, we do have an obsession in general, like all Arabs. We do have an obsession with cars. That's true. The car culture is a lot deeper than it is anywhere else.
Yeah, it's true. This is, and then if you study and you see and you do the research, you discover why. Because it's 7,000 years history of speed, really.
Really nice. I love this explanation. I'm going to start using it every day.
Thanks very much, Hafsa.
What kind of reaction do you hope that fans in the Middle East will have when they realize the racing began in their own land?
Well, first, I have to say, and this is a very good question, first, pride. They can be very proud about who they are and what are they representing, and who are them in the motorsports world. And second, involvement. I want them to get involved in this project, because the way we have concept and design this project is to have the help of all the fans to help us shape the future of Race of Kingdoms.
Yeah.
The ecosystem.
We do need fans at the end of the day.
Yes. And also we need, because it's a modern concept. So with the help of the fans, we can really shape the not final, but the concept of the ecosystem and the ecosystem itself.
Speaking of this, do you think the Middle East is actually ready for a motorsports breakthrough right now?
Well, it is completely, because they have the top venues, they have really good management teams, they are organizing the best races in the world, Formula One, MotoGP, Dakar, etc. Federations are top also. They are managing very well their races, events, etc. And they are ready. And I think they are just lacking this own ecosystem which will represent Race of Kingdoms.
And do you think that would help young drivers like locals?
For sure. Let's go back again. We were talking about this before. Really, the right ecosystem is the ecosystem like provoking, like giving a pathway to the young drivers. No? And if we can get youngsters in Middle East passionate about motorsports, interested about motorsports, and also if we can give them a reference, a pathway to progress and exposure, of course, is going to be key for them and their development.
Because there's already, for example, Formula 4 UAE. There is Formula 4, I think, in Saudi as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Saudi as well, also, yes, and Emirates, yeah.
So these already exist, but they're not across multiple series.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I think, where Race of Kingdoms comes in.
Yeah, of course, because Hafsa, at the end of it, one of the key pillars of Race of Kingdoms is reserved exclusively for nationals of the Seven Kingdoms. Only nationals from the Seven Kingdoms will be able to compete in Race of Kingdoms. So it's going to be really their own ecosystem.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yes.
Because everybody can compete in F4 UAE and F4 Saudi.
And they do. And
Yeah.
they do. If you see the grids of Formula 4, whatever, GT.
I do work with some of them.
Yeah, I know, you know. So
So what excites you the most about creating this first sports league in, honestly, I think in the world there is nothing like it that would be very centered around one group of people.
well, the what excites me the most of the project is that even being a regional championship, I think is gonna have a global impact, really. And I truly believe it's gonna revolution the way motorsports is now managed in Middle East, and also it's gonna give a truly deeply rooted content to the Middle East, and I think this is groundbreaking.
And I agree with you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's the third or fourth agreement with
Yeah,
me.
we're going on a roll right now. In one sentence or two, if you'd like, what is Race of Kingdoms?
Well, Race of Kingdoms is an ecosystem specifically designed to promote auto racing in the 7 kingdoms of the Middle East.
What kingdoms are they?
Saudi Arabia, well, it's 3 kingdoms, 3 emirates and 1 sultanate. Saudi Arabia, Bahrain and Jordan, the kingdoms. Qatar, Emirates, UAE and Kuwait, and the Sultanate Oman.
And what are the 3 pillars of that would define it, basically?
Well, the 3 pillars that define a Race of Kingdoms are, first, exclusive club of royal countries. This is an exclusive club, not only for the countries, but citizens, everyone. This is an exclusive club. The second pillar is motorsports. Motorsports is a very complex sport, complex in the sense of mixing technology, mixing sport, mixing everything. So I think this makes motorsports unique. And the third pillar is heritage and tradition and history. No other place in the world enjoys these 3 pillars.
And when you talk about heritage, I do remember reading somewhere, I'm pretty sure it was the website or some social media, that you called it heritage in motion. What does that mean?
This is the continuation of 7,000 years of history of speed, really. This is condensed, this is summary.
From what I understand, it's basically reconnecting the origin at the speed of today.
The birth of the speed, the origin of speed, the birth of racing was Middle East, and we are continuing this line, and now it's Race of Kingdoms.
What do you want people to feel the first time they attend this kind of race?
Pride, of course, pride. And I assume, and you can tell when you see football, for instance, and when you see a football club winning is one passion. It's completely different when the country wins any match. It's like very transformative for everyone.
It's like a sense of belonging. You feel like it's your victory as well.
Exactly. It's also your victory. Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's why you cry at the end when you lose. Because we lost the AFCON, but who's counting? So you said a couple of times that ROK, Race of Kingdom, is more than a motorsport series. So what would you do, or what do you think actually transforms it into a movement?
What is a movement when you see reflected your culture, your history, your heritage, and your ideas in the project? That becomes a movement, and that's why this is, in my understanding, much more than a championship or an ecosystem. That will become a movement. Because at the end of it, if people in Middle East gets connected and identified with their teams, and through Race of Kingdoms, all of the 7 kingdoms are connected through a sport, I think this is going to be a wonderful movement.
In terms of talents and drivers, why does Race of Kingdom bring so many drivers from different places under one ecosystem?
Well, yeah, the idea about having different categories, up to 7 different categories in Race of Kingdoms, GTs, Formula 4, touring cars, karting, drift, sim racing, and UTVs.
You'll include sim racing as well?
Yes.
Okay, so there's also the esports side of
the
things.
esports side
Okay.
also. The idea of including all the 7 categories is to have like a proper reflection, proper definition of the motorsports in every country, and also somehow to balance the competition, because not every country have a large pool of GT or Formula drivers, but the ones that don't have very good GT drivers can also like backfire or compete if they have good sim racers or drift drivers, you know. So that was the idea about having these very cross categories.
You raised a good point, because in my work, we do deal with a lot of drivers, and some of them are absolutely talented. They're really, really good behind the wheel. It's just their biggest barrier would be visibility. Because now, I mean, they're athletes, but at the same time, they're also money printing machines. They have to have some sort of visibility to bring in their sponsors. So how do you think Race of Kingdoms would help these young drivers?
Because of putting together all these 7 kingdoms with 7 categories and all this massive pool of drivers, because we're talking about more than 400 potential drivers, and all the stakeholders all connected in the same ecosystem, I think this is going to be the very good way to give them exposure first, to give them potential to get sponsors, etc., and resources, and also to compete. And at the end of it, you need to compete. You need to measure yourself with the rest, and you need to be there in the market to offer your and to show your talent, no? And also, I think by this way we will create more local heroes, and by creating more local heroes, we will create, or we will nurture the future generation of Middle Eastern drivers.
The way I understand it, it feels like a World Cup captain. But I would say I would compare it more with كأس العرب, the Arab Cup, because each driver, I think, would be representing their country.
Indeed. But
Okay, so there is
every
an
year.
emotion. Yeah, well, كأس العرب, I don't know how often it is, to be
Yes.
honest, but yeah. So it's kind of an emotional attachment
Yes.
with the driver representing their country.
For sure. And let me tell you, because it's the way I see it, obviously, if you go to compete in the GT World Championship, the level is very high. If you are going to compete in a regional championship, the level will be low, so we will be able to give more entry to more local drivers. And this, again, can give them the opportunity to have exposure, you know, to show their talent, etc.
What moment would you like to see a young boy or a young girl experience because of Race of Kingdoms?
Well, it would be perfect if they just get an interest in motorsports. Okay, I also want to be like my neighbor, and I want to succeed in Race of Kingdoms. And bit by bit, step by step, inshallah, we have an Arab Formula One driver in the future.
We already have one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
the
Isaac
second
Hadjar.
one.
But yeah, that would be amazing, honestly.
Yeah, that would be perfect. But this is the way, yeah, they don't come, I mean, good drivers and top drivers, they don't come out of thin air. We have to nurture them.
Yes. But again, Isaac Hadjar is, I mean, he is Algerian, but at the end of the day, he was born and raised in France. So it's not a byproduct, I would say, of the karting nurturing of Algeria.
Yes.
So yeah, it would be good to see that.
Yeah.
How do national teams transform the meaning of competition within Race of Kingdoms?
Well, it changes everything really, because national teams, and when you fight for your flag and your kingdom, this transforms everything, the feeling, but not only of the drivers, but the sponsors, circuits, federations, fans, people, everyone gets involved there, and it changes completely the game.
Okay. And in terms of sponsors, I'm assuming it's going to be national sponsors for everybody, given that they're going to be representing their full country. But what does each kingdom uniquely bring to this competition?
Well, I think within a common substrate, let's say, in Middle East, you know that better than me because you live there in Emirates, there are subtle differences between the kingdoms, and I think this is a very rich.
There's also dialect differences.
Yeah,
Some of us don't
everything,
understand each other.
Yeah. and you know the way people dress, etc. And I think this is pure gold in this case, because the potential for this is amazing. Because imagine, I can envision for instance a game based on Race of Kingdoms, the history, you know, competing first with, imagine, horses, then chariots, then formulas, then whatever, and with different characters for the different kingdoms. I think this is pure gold.
So speaking of the point that you just raised is really good. But speaking of the categories, you did mention, but can you tell me exactly what they are? Which ones we have?
Of course, the categories we envision for Race of Kingdoms are GTs, Formula 4, touring cars, karting, sim racing, drift, and UTVs, probably rally ride. And this is, we think about this structure to give a very complete and round sense to the ecosystem. But as we are gonna implement Race of Kingdoms through franchises, we also know that we will speak to the franchises. Together with the franchises, we will decide the future of Race of Kingdoms and the categories also. So we might have new categories or take some of them out.
Okay. So speaking of this franchising part, and I believe it's going to be held in throughout the season, it's going to be held in all 7 of them. So how do you plan to make it fair, safe, and exciting for these young kids, young drivers?
Actually, we consider to have all these categories, and we consider to give the same points, to award the same points to all the categories to balance a bit the competition. And we understand by doing so, the competition will be kept. I mean, when we have the when we have the events for Race of Kingdoms, by doing so, we will keep the competition alive. I didn't explain this very well. Really.
You did, actually. And I think I just realized one part that I didn't get before. And I think it's amazing because I feel like it's like the Olympics. We're competing in different categories, but at the end we calculate how much the country made.
Yes.
Is that it?
But not only this, but also I want to introduce also something that you normally do in sail races, which is to skip the worst score.
Interesting.
Yes.
I've never watched sailing.
Yes, so it balances the competition also.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
But
it just dawned on me right now. Crazy.
But Hafsa, this is again something we will discuss with the franchises, okay? And all together we will decide the future of the project. But this is, I think those are nice ideas, so you can keep the, competition alive
up until the very end, yeah. Because we're calculating at the end how much a country scored.
And also, let me have your opinion. We have think about giving the same scoring, the same points as per Formula One, which is understandable per anyone. So, no, it's a nice idea.
It could be, but if you're including rally raid, that's going to be a little bit hard because rally raid is a lot.
I know, but at the end of it, you know what you do. First one, 25 points. And then, same.
Okay, fair. Fair. Okay. Um, I'm assuming that there's going to be a lot of fan participation and decision making. I mean, fan decision making and participation in Race of Kingdoms. So why is that? Why is that going to be playing a major role?
Well, because we want to. This is a very modern, although it comes from a very historic, DNA, etc. We are here, and we envision here a very modern concept. So we want to have some viral and social media, activations, like, for instance, voting for the favorite drivers. For instance, like answering questions about everything, the concept, etc., giving us ideas. So that's why we think we will have a huge involvement by the fans.
And in terms of the why do you think circuits or cities would jump in at the opportunity of hosting?
Well, first because of the local, let's say, regional product, and culturally rooted, completely rooted to the land, championship. But also because of economic, reasons. Because I think Race of Kingdoms is going to be a very nice event, very populated event, and a very good event for the fans, really.
Speaking of the economics and the fans, when we combine these two, we usually speak about sponsors.
Yes.
So, what would make sponsoring Race of Kingdoms uniquely valuable?
Because you are sponsoring not only a championship or an ecosystem, but royal nations, 7,000 years history, as we said, and very ancient history, and everything, really. You are not sponsoring something, like
It feels like you're
naive
sponsoring a country.
and modern. Yeah, you are sponsoring a country. Well, a millennia country, pure heritage.
What long-term role will ROK or Race of Kingdom franchises play in the region's future?
The way I see it, they will become a very strong actor, a very strong asset to promote motorsports and to promote young talent, grassroots, and the economic development of sports in every one of the seven kingdoms.
Okay. Now let's jump into the roadmap of when is this going to start. What does the next 12 to 36 months look like?
Well, the way we have planned at the team of Race of Kingdoms, the next steps or stages. Our first stage now is going to be like brand awareness, content generation, and to explain everyone, including the stakeholders, what is Race of Kingdoms, and also to grow the digital fan base. Second stage is going to be to organize one of the pilot events, probably sim racing, karting, or drift. One of them. We are already talking about some key players in the sim racing industry to start organizing this event. Third stage would be to have an big event in a big circuit with the seven, hopefully, inshallah, having the seven kingdoms already with the seven national teams and the seven competing in the seven categories. And the fourth stage would be to convert this trophy in a championship. Step 3 to 4 should be very easy, because once you have the
when you still have 1 and 2, 3 and
to
4
convert
just
this
rolling.
and then the idea is to have this championship every year, seven events, which I think is going to be the perfect complement for the current motorsport agenda in the Gulf countries.
And where do you see this go for the next 3 years?
Well, 3 years I see 3 years I see Race of Kingdoms with a fully established championship, as I said, with 7 events per year, each of the events in one of the 7 kingdoms. And in 10 years' time, I can see Race of Kingdoms doing a lot of things. Do you want me to ask about
No, I'm thinking you're saying that you're in 10 years, it's going to be doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
Would that mean having changed one young boy or girl's life? And if yes, what kind of change do you want to see?
Well, just if Race of Kingdoms becomes a motivator, if you can say that in English, something that gives the reference and gives the opportunity to the youngsters in Middle East to be interested in motorsports and to get involved in motorsports, we will have done our job, really. I don't know if was the answer that you wanted.
No. I was more talking about in terms of long-term change the life of a young driver, whether
Yes.
it's a boy or a girl.
Okay. Yeah, of course, because once they have this exposure through Race of Kingdoms and once they can show their talent, I think the very good ones, as the sport is, the very good ones will follow up, and go to the next step. So we will help them to promote in their careers, in their racing careers, really.
Hopefully one day reaching Formula One or competing in Le Mans.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay, perfect. So if you had to finish this sentence, Race of Kingdom exists because?
Race of Kingdoms exists because is the natural continuation of a 7,000 years history of speed in Middle East.
And what would be your message to the fans and the locals and the nationals of these 7 kingdoms?
My message is keep connected, stay tuned, because something truly extraordinary is coming to your place and you have to be part of it.
That's an amazing message. I love it. It was a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, Hafsa. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.